Namaste, namaste, and welcome to our last Wednesday chair yoga of this summer term. And I hope it finds you sunny and warm wherever you are as well. So come to sitting on your seat. Towards the edge of your seat is good. Feet supported if you feel that they need it. And just finding a comfortable spot, resting your hands wherever they're good. Closing the eyes only if you want to, gazing downward if you prefer. Today we're focused on the theme of connection and connecting. So right now we're going to disconnect ourselves from our wider lives, the things to do list, the weight on your shoulders, the things on your mind, the things going on around you. Disconnecting from all of that and connecting instead to your yoga time and space. Step away from all of that and become present again in your body. Instead, focusing your awareness on how you feel right now. And developing that sense of connection with yourself. Notice the areas of the body that are feeling perhaps a little tired or overworked, or tight or stiff or sore. There's no need to get involved in the whys and the wherefores, just observing the sensation in the body. And notice at least one space in the body that feels restful, at ease, peaceful. Notice the parts of your body that are connecting to something, whether it be the soles of the feet and the buttocks or the tops of the thighs, maybe the hands, and allow those parts of the body to be your firm foundation from which to lift and connect the crown of your head with the space above you. As you do that, perhaps you get a greater sense of length or height or space in the torso. Sitting like this, we're going to connect with our breath. Just noticing the breath that you're breathing right now. And then gently deepening that breath. So as you exhale, drawing your abdominal muscles inwards, just drawing the navel inwards a little to exhale more fully, and then breathing deeply into the sides of the body, the chest, the back. And breathing out long, slow, deep, engaging across the navel to exhale completely. Breathing into your rib cage, your collarbones, your shoulder blades. Breathing out long, slow, deep, and engaging across the navel to breathe out completely. Keep your breath moving in this rhythm. And connect with the sensation of the breath. The coolness of the air as it draws in through the nostrils. The warmth of the breath as it leaves the body, also through the nostrils, hopefully. The sensation of the chest expanding, the ribs separating as you inhale. And the sensation of the shoulders softening, maybe even the forehead softening as you exhale. The sensation of length as you inhale, allowing the breath to grow you tall. And the sensation of connection downwards through the feet and the seat as you exhale. One more deep breath. And as you exhale, this time drawing your chin towards your chest and just feeling that length. Allow your breath to find a natural rhythm. And here, rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder, chin towards the chest, and left ear to the left shoulder, and chin to chest. Just rolling side to side, feeling that sensation of length coming into the body, maybe a release of tension if you're holding tension in your neck and shoulders. And then focus on the sensation of connection between the movement of the head and the sensations in your body, underneath the ear, the jaw, the side of the neck, the chest, the back, the shoulders. Notice if it's different if you have your mouth closed or open. And if you want to, you can make circles with your head, just gentle, slow circles. Again, noticing sensations, connections. Circling the opposite way if you are circling. And as your chin comes towards your chest this time, just resting there, returning your head to center and opening your eyes if you would like to. Throughout this practice, if you feel inclined to practice with your eyes closed, you may. It doesn't make it better or worse, it's just whatever is comfortable for you. So here on our seats, let's just begin to roll the shoulders. And feeling what moves as your shoulders move. It's not just the shoulders, the arms and hands move, the chest and the back. Maybe the neck moves a little. Maybe you can feel sensation underneath the rib cage into the top of the abdomen. Let's go the opposite way as well. Very good. And releasing there. I'm just going to shake out the hands a little bit. And then we're going to actually come up to standing for some connecting with our feet. So coming up to standing now, we're going to just walk around our yoga space. So we do this quite often, but today we're going to focus on that sense of connecting with the feet. So coming up onto your tiptoes and walking around in a way that feels comfortable to you. It might be around your chair. It might be just around the space that you've got. If you're practicing with someone else in the room, Annette and Shona, try not to walk into each other. Coordinate your actions. And notice as you're up on your tiptoes, if you can do this without looking down at your feet. So there's a tendency whenever we do something different with our feet to look at them. Like we've just noticed that they're there. So instead of that, try to keep your head upright and connect with the sensation, keeping your movements nice and fluid. Whenever you're ready, you can come into your space and just float your heels to the floor and feel the effect on your feet. So hopefully you feel a greater sense of connection with the balls of the toes, the balls of the foot and the pads of the toes. Then we'll come up onto the heels and again walking around your space. Keep your knees a little soft so that you don't walk with rigidly straight legs and rigidly straight arms. See if you can get a little more natural swing going on. And again, there's no need to look down. You can simply look up. You can go backwards and forwards if you haven't got much room. And when you're ready, Coming back to your center and floating your toes down to the floor. And again, noticing that sensation of connection. If you're practicing on carpet, you might get less feedback than you would on a hard surface, but there'll still be some different sensation. Then on the outside edge of your foot, walking around again, nice and relaxed. Try not to do something strange with your hands, although if you do, it's a good way to notice the connection between the movements of the hands and the feet. Very good. Coming into your center space, floating your whole foot to the floor, just noticing. So the parts of the foot that we've already worked with, the toes, the ball, the heel, the outside edges, these are the parts of the foot that are normally in contact with the floor. And unless you've got very fallen arches, often you don't have any sensation on the inside of the foot, as in a connection sensation. So let's practice on the inside of the feet and see if we can build that sensation of feedback from the floor through the inside of the foot. So we're not trying to get the insteps to the floor, but the inner edge of the foot. See if you can do this without penguining your arms. But if you do, again, just noticing that connection between the arms and the feet. And what we do with our arms and our hands and our feet is, it's quite an interesting connection. There we are. When you're ready, just floating the foot to the floor. And maybe now you do have a sensation of those parts of the inner foot that have been on the ground while we walked on the inner foot, being somewhat connected to the floor as you stand on your feet proper. And so all of those parts where the foot connects down are our grounding points. And we can wriggle the toes a little bit against the floor and sort of have the sensation of the toes working more individually perhaps than they do in shoes. And then when you're ready, you can lift all your toes up and spread them out as far as you can. Don't worry if that doesn't come naturally, it does over time with practice. Placing the big toe joints down, or the big toes down, and then the other toes as individually as possible to the floor. And see if that changes the sensation across your foot. And if you don't notice something now today, don't worry, in time and with practice, you will. Let's try that again. We're going to lift all of the toes up. This time, we're going to put the other toes down first and keep the big toes up if you can. I have to watch my feet to do this. And then when all the other toes are down, try to spread your big toes as far away from them as possible to place them down on the floor. And so the effect is that you end up with your toes as separated as it's possible for you to do under your own steam. And hopefully the toes lengthening rather than gripping the floor. Look down at your feet. Sometimes we need that contact with our eyes to feel that sense of connection. And notice if they're straight or if they're wiggly, pointing inwards or outwards. If you want to adjust them, you can. A straight foot is where the heel is behind the second and third toe. So don't bother lining up the inside or outside edges of your feet. And if your toes are crooked because of wearing shoes, which they sometimes are, then those middle two toes tend to be less crooked. So from these feet that are now strongly connected downwards, we're going to build a sense of a lift away. So here, if you can, close your eyes, rest your arms down to your sides or gaze downward if you prefer. Feel the pads of each toe. See if you can feel them individually. Feel the ball of your foot, the outside edge of the foot. And if you just gently engage your arch slightly away from the mat, you might feel the outside edge of your foot a little more strongly. The heel of the foot is like a semicircle of sensation. Perhaps you can also feel the inner heel where it comes towards the center of the foot. These are our points where the energy of the body is moving downward. So it's like we're drawn towards the floor like a magnet, or you can imagine perhaps growing roots downwards into the floor. And then the parts of the body that have space, the parts of the foot rather that have space, the backs of the toes, the bits between the pad and where the toe joins the foot, or the inner arches, there are no outer arches. So the arches of the foot, the insoles, no, insteps, there we are. Those are the parts of the foot that are not in contact with the floor. You can maybe feel the sensation of air against the skin there, and lift your energy up through the center of the ankle, up through the legs, like a spiraling sensation up the legs into the hips. And here we can stop to draw the knees a little bit upwards by activating our muscles at the front of the thighs, the quadriceps. Engage your pelvic floor, the abdominal muscles, just gently, that sense of drawing inwards and lifting. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. This separates the tops of the shoulder blades and draws the bottoms of the shoulder blades towards each other a bit more. Roll the palms forwards if that's comfortable for your shoulders. That will give you the increased sensation of broadness across your chest. Lengthen through the neck into the crown of the head and have that sensation of lift all the way from your insteps to the crown of your head. This is Tadasana. It's sometimes called Stamasthiti, standing steady. But Tadasana means mountain pose, and the idea here is that your firm foundation makes you as strong as a mountain, as steady and timeless. In mountain pose, connect with your breath. And you can choose to do that by connecting with the sensation of the breath moving through the nostrils, or perhaps the movement of the breath in the body. See if you can take 2 more really long, slow, deep breaths, holding this sensation of connecting to earth and sky. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes if they've been closed, and just relax a little bit. So soften the knees, relax the toes, relax the arms, give your legs a little bit of a shake if they need a little bit of a shake. So mountain pose just looks like standing still, but it's very active in what we do in the body to achieve it. And to let go of some of that activity, which sometimes if we hold it for a long time feels like tension, we can do a little Kati Chakrasana. So you take your feet a little wider apart, maybe pad them on the floor a little bit, just a touch, or just move your weight from side to side if that feels good. To feel that sense of connect and release, connect and release. And then when you're ready, you can settle them down and bounce in your knees just to feel those parts of the foot that connect, maybe getting that firmer sensation of magnetism into the floor. And then from here, with soft knees, centered, we're just gently twisting from side to side. And as we do that, the arms and shoulders are soft and relaxed. Perhaps there's a touch of lift in the belly and the buttocks, but just a touch, just enough. There's still that sensation of a lengthening the crown of the head upwards, but you may have more of a feedback from the feet as you twist from one side to the other, especially as we've concentrated so much of our awareness on the soles of the feet. So can you feel the soles of the feet almost twisting a little as you twist? The weight moving across the foot from side to side, from front to back. And then moving your awareness to the connection of the hands and the body. So wherever the hands touch the body, that sensation of a gentle tap or a thump, perhaps if you're a little more vigorous. What parts of the hands touch your body and where do they touch your body? And it doesn't matter if you want to touch, if you want to tap yourself in a different place than across the hips. Might be the front of the shoulder, the back of the ribs, might be around the waist. And you can have a go at some different places to feel the effect of that gentle tapping. And if you feel inclined, you can do this with your eyes closed. It's not for anyone who feels really dizzy. Gazing gently downward will help with that instead. But if you want to try a few rotations with your eyes closed, just to increase your awareness of those sensations in the body. And then when you're ready, gently releasing your movement a little bit at a time until you're back to standing steady. And when you come to that steady centered position, take a moment to notice the difference between movement and stillness, and the effect of that movement in the body. So now our feet are really firmly grounded down. We're going to leave them where they are and roll our shoulders again. So hopefully, as a result of our tapping, this feels a little bit more fluid than it did at the beginning. And we can go the opposite way as well. Excellent. And then we're going to set our knees just a little softness. And that's okay. If that doesn't suit you, don't do that. Or you can choose to do this sitting down if you prefer. Just a touch of softness if you can. A little firmness in the belly and the buttocks. We're going to bend the left elbow. Keep the right arm wherever is useful. So it might be just resting by your side. It might be on your waist. And begin to make some circles with this left arm. So perhaps if we did this with a really long straight arm, then it's much more strain on the shoulder joint. So by doing it with a bent elbow, we create a little softness, a little a give for the body. And then if you want to, you can allow your body to respond to the movement. That might mean freeing your right hand if you've been using it. Perhaps you can feel the chest open as the arm goes over and back, and the chest closing, the upper back opening as the arm comes forward. At the same time, don't lose that connection with your feet. Feel the feet respond to your movement. Allow your neck to move. There's no need to look at the screen. You can allow your eyes to follow the movement if that doesn't make you feel dizzy, or just simply keep your gaze more towards the horizon, but allow your head to move a little as you move. Let's go the opposite way as well. So at the bottom of your next movement, just reversing that movement of the shoulder and the arm, keeping the elbow nice and soft. You can start small, but as soon as you want to, you can put the rest of the body into the movement, connect it all up. Feel what moves as you move. So our bodies are designed to not move in small isolated movements, but to move in these big coordinated movements where the shoulder movement recruits the torso, the chest, the upper back, the arms, the neck, the hips, the knees, the feet, the ankles, as we make these movements. And when we move like this, it's joyful. It helps us to feel that sense of connection, not just with ourselves, but also perhaps to our wider environment as well. Resting on this side, taking a note of how differently the sides feel, and perhaps you feel a stronger sensation of awareness on the left side of the body because that's what you've been primarily using. We'll do the same thing on the other side, so nice and soft on the right elbow, just starting with some smallish movements of the right arm. And I can already feel that if I move this way, I just get a little strain across the front of my shoulder. Whereas if I allow my body to move with my arm, I don't feel that strain as much. So as soon as you're ready, using that strong connection into the feet, the softness of the knees, to move in your torso, your neck, your chest, your upper back, feeling the openness across the chest and then the openness across the upper back. And if you only do one thing every day this summer, then try this one. At the end of this circle, just stopping so that we can go the opposite way. Starting with perhaps smaller movements of the arms. And then when you're ready, or if you're ready, you can make bigger movements with your torso. So as a daily practice, this is a really nice one. You could, of course, start with some Kati Chakrasana, neck and shoulder, smaller movements. And then this, take you about 5 minutes. You will feel huge benefits from it. We'll do 2 more circles in this direction. Before resting your arm down to your side, just coming back to the center, to stillness, noticing, is there a sense of balance between the 2 sides now? Do you feel actively connected to both sides of the body? Hopefully the answer is yes. Awesome stuff. So we're just going to bring the feet a little bit closer together because sometimes it's a strain to stand with the feet so wide apart. We're going to do a gentle standing salutation, but I'd like you to have your chairs ready for the forward bending part of this. So if you have your chair facing you, but with the seat towards you rather than the back of the chair, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so with our feet about hip width apart, maybe slightly wider, if that feels more secure and comfortable to you, that's all good. We're going to start in Tadasana, so with the palms turned forwards and the shoulder blades just rolling down the back a little. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then another deep breath in, connecting heaven and earth, or sky and earth. Deep breath out as you bring the palms together at the center of your chest. From here, take the hands down, breathe in, reach the arms out and up, look up. You don't need to look at your hands, but looking up and breathing out a cleansing breath. Hands come to the center of the chest again. This time, breathing in as you reach the arms all the way up over the head and breathing out as you separate the arms and draw the shoulders down, beach ball arms. Here we're going to breathe in and lean over to the right side. Breathe out back to the center, nice and firm in the belly and the buttocks. Breathe in over to the left side and breathe out back to the center. Let's do it one more time to each side. Breathing in over to the right, firm belly and buttocks. Breathing out to center. Breathing in over to the left. And breathing out back to center. Now a little twist. As you breathe in, reach the left hand forward and the right hand backwards. Twist to the right, nice and soft in the knees. Breathe out back to your beach ball held over the head. Breathe in as you twist to the opposite side. Breathe out back to the center. One more time to each side, breathing in, twisting to the right, arms towards shoulder height, breathing out back to the center, breathing in, twisting to the left, breathing out back to the center. We're going to breathe in and reach the chest up, firm the feet, the buttocks, the belly, and as you breathe out, bend your knees and lean forward from your hips to reach your beach ball forwards and your bottom backwards till you touch your seat in front. Now, if you don't come down that low, that's okay. You can reach for a little bit higher up, reaching for your chair back instead. But here, if you're able to get into this forward bend, be nice and comfortable, just relaxing your chest down a little bit more. Leave your forearms or hands on the chair for a bit of support so that you can go a bit deeper, but not too deep. Still soft in the knees. We're not here to strain any hamstrings. And maybe a little lift in the belly muscles. We'll take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So what we're going to do here is called an upward lift. We're going to press the hands into the seat to lengthen the arms and prop our torsos up, and at the same time lengthen our legs as much as feels comfortable. A little softness in the knees, okay? Draw the shoulder blades towards each other and just lengthen the crown of the head so the back of the neck is long. Lift in the belly muscles and then fold back down, soft knees, soft elbows, draping the body over the thighs. We'll do that one more time. So we're going to breathe in as we press into the palms of the hands, lengthening the arms to prop the torsos up about parallel to the floor, lifting in the belly muscles, lengthening the back of the legs if you want to, but that's optional. And then breathe out as you fold all the way into whatever is a comfortable forward bend for you. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees deeply. Imagine dropping your bottom towards your heels, then press into your feet and round through your back to come up to standing. If you're dizzy, stay here. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. If you want to, take a deep cleansing breath, breathing in, reaching the arms out and up, and breathing out, hands to the center of the chest. Wonderful stuff. Release the arms and just relax the body for a moment, and we'll do that whole thing again as our little standing salutation. How exciting. So turning the palms forwards, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, feeling the connection of the feet, but also notice if your feet have moved as we worked, just notice if you can place them back into a more centered space that's supportive for you. A little lift through the quadriceps, the pelvic floor, the abdominal muscles, and the buttocks, lengthening the crown of the head upwards. Take a deep breath in here. And as you breathe out, bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Breathe in, reach the arms out, up, look up. Feel the lift down the sides of the body. Breathe out as you draw your hands to the center of the chest. Breathe in, reach straight back up. Separate your hands and drop your shoulders down as you breathe out. Your head can be quite neutral. Breathe in, reach the arms over to the right as the hips go to the left. Breathe out back to the center, firm in the belly, soft in the knees. Breathe in over to the left, hips to the right. Breathing out back to the center. One more time to each side. Breathing in, side bend to the right. Breathing out, return. Breathing in, side bend to the left. Breathing out, return. Now twisting. Breathe in, reach the left hand forward, the right hand backwards, twist to the right. Breathing out as you return. Breathing in, twisting to the left, arms about shoulder height. Breathing out as you return to beach ball arms. One more time. Breathing in to the right. Breathing out as you return. Breathing into the left. Breathing out as you return. In your center, breathe in, open your chest, look up, firm belly and buttocks. And as you breathe out, stick your bottom out, fold forward from your hips, reach your arms long until you come down to your chair seat, knees as soft as needed. Press into the hands for a halfway lift. So breathing in, lengthen arms, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift the belly, lengthen the legs if you want to. Breathing out as you soften and fold down over your legs, bending your knees, bending your elbows. Breathing in one more time, pressing into the hands to lift halfway. And breathing out as you fold over the legs. Then we're going to bend the knees deeper, round through the spine. Tuck your tailbone under. Let your weight go into your heels, rounding up like someone's drawing you up through a string at the back of the heart. Coming to standing, hands to namaste if you're dizzy, or breathe in. Reach the arms out and up, and breathe out, palms together at the center of the chest. Relax the arms down to the sides. Take a moment. We're going to do it one more time through. So if you need to do a little wiggle, you can. If your forward bend is becoming a little bit more comfortable, then this time you can forward bend and come a little bit lower down if you want to. Just move your fingertips towards the floor, or hold elbow to elbow if they don't quite reach, or use a lower support, something like a block or a stack of books would be very good here. If your forward bend is not becoming more comfortable, this time you can paddle through the backs of your legs, giving your hips a little bit of a swing, a bit like we do in downward facing dog sometimes. Okay, so standing tall with the palms turned forwards, let's take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, bring the hands to the center of the chest. Breathe in, reach the arms out and up, firm belly, buttocks, and lift in the pelvic floor. Breathing out, bringing the palms to the center of the chest once more. Breathing in, reaching the hands up, separating the hands, and breathing out, drawing the shoulders down. Firm in your center. Breathe in as you lean over to the right side, hips to the left. Breathe out back to the center. Breathing in over to the left. Breathing out back to center. One more time to each side. Breathing in as you side bend. Breathing out as you return. Breathing in as you side bend. Breathing out as you return. Firm in the buttocks, twisting, breathing in, twisting to the right, soft knees. Breathing out back to the center. Breathing in, twist to the left. Breathing out back to the center. One more time. Breathing in, reach the fingers wide. Breathing out as you return. Breathing in, twisting to the left. Breathing out as you return. Breathing in, open your chest, looking up. Breathing out, soft in the knees. Stick your bottom out, lengthen forward from the hips to reach for your chair seat, or further down if you prefer. Soften the knees and the elbows, relax the back of the neck, draw the belly muscles inwards and upwards. On your next breath in, press into your hands. Lengthen the arms, lengthen the torso, lengthen the back of the neck, and breathe out as you fold back over your bent knees. One more time. Breathing in, press halfway up, scoop the belly in, and breathing out, softening over the bent knees. Here to roll up, we bend the knees a little deeper, take the buttocks towards the heels, just pressing into the heels of the feet, scooping the belly in, rounding up through the spine to standing. Turning the palms face forwards, and if you want to, raise your arms, inhaling up over the head, and exhaling, hands to the center of the chest. And then release your arms and take a moment just to feel how strongly your feet are connected down. It might feel like they're almost too connected to move, but if you can, just giving them a little paddle from the heels, little flap of the toes on the floor. Paddle the heels, flap the toes. Paddle the heels, flap the toes, and then we will come to sitting on our seats again. You might want to grab a blanket if you feel like you might need one for relaxation, and a block for sure as we move into the seated phase of the class. So you don't have to have your blanket on just now because it's not quite relaxation time just yet. We're just going to do a little omming. So we've spent most of the class connecting with our grounded feet and connecting our breath with movement and connecting with our sensation of movement. And now I'd like to connect with sound. So that sensation of sound. Om is the sound that everything makes, if you like. So I'm not sure that necessarily all the scientists would agree with that, but in yoga philosophy, we consider Om to be the sound of the Big Bang, the start of creation. And it's the sort of low vibration that is created by everything in the universe. Let's go with that. Yeah, why not? So we're going to do a little omming, but we're going to first separate it into 3 parts and then put it together. So sitting nice and tall, and if you prefer to stand for this part of the class, you can. We're going to rest our hands low onto our bellies, and it doesn't really matter where that is, so just wherever they naturally fall, but try to keep the spine nice and long. So we want to create space to make this sound in the body. And then the first sound, Om, has 4 parts, an ah, an oo, an and a silent part as well. So the space between sound. And so the ah starts here quite low and deep, but you don't have to be as, I know I Om quite deeply, you don't have to be as deep as me. You make the sound that suits you the best. So we're just going to ah for a couple of breaths. So whenever you're ready, and if you prefer just to listen, you can just listen, that's no problem. But if you're joining in, taking a deep breath in, so when you're making the sound, open your mouth as wide as you feel comfortable doing, the wider the better, and allow the sound to come out to your length of breath. So if your breath is longer, keep going. If it's shorter, simply take a deep breath in and make your ah-ing again. We'll do 3 more. Well, I'll do 3 more. You do as many as you can fit in that time. And then after that, just after your next exhalation, just spending a moment with the mouth relaxed, the shoulders relaxed, observing the quiet. Now moving your hands to the center of your chest, we're going to make an oo or u sound. This is often a tone higher, although I'm no singer, so chanting is more about vibration than anything else. Joining in when you're ready, we're going to do 4. I will do 4. You do as many as your breath allows.
At the end of your next exhalation, allowing your mouth to relax, your breath to settle, and observe the quietness between breaths. For the next part of Om, you can place your hands in Chin Mudra, so first fingers and thumbs together, other fingers long, and the palms can be placed up or down or together in the center. Check that your posture is still quite upright. The sound of comes from the throat and head area. And again, we'll do 4, doing as many as you can in this time, or as few as you can in this time. Mouth closed, teeth apart. At the end of your next exhalation, just relaxing your face, observing the stillness. And then here, observing with your eyes closed, if you can, the sounds from your wider environment. Maybe allow them to filter in individually and then become like a symphony in your head or your ears. Perhaps the sound of wind through leaves, grass, birds, chickens in my case. Sound of voices carried on the wind, traffic perhaps. The sound of movement from inside your home, your space. With these sounds as your backing orchestra, we will chant Om together. So in the chanting of Om, we make the Ah sound, and then it blends into the Oo sound and blends into the sound, pausing briefly before inhaling and starting again. Move at your own rhythm. Join in when you're ready.
Do two loudly. Too quietly. Whisper two ohms. Do two silently. Then allow your breath to fall back into its natural rhythm and observe the effect of your practice. As subtly and gently as you can, moving yourself back into your seat, wrapping yourself in your blanket if you're using one today. Allow the back of your body to relax against the back of your chair, the legs to be more rested along the seat, and the feet to still be connected to the ground. You can relax your hands from Chin Mudra if you would like to. Soften the features of your face, the area around your eyes, your tongue, your jaw, shoulders, chest. Allow your belly muscles to relax as well. And simply soften and release down a little deeper with every exhalation.
Gently bring your awareness back to this time and this place. Connect your sensation into your body by moving your fingers and toes, maybe rolling your wrists and your ankles. When you feel ready, take a deep breath in and stretch. Stretching the face, stretching the arms, stretching the legs, the sides, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, you can gather yourself into your center. Just wrap your arms around your body as if you were giving yourself a hug, which indeed you are giving yourself a hug. That sense of connecting to self. Then from here, bringing the hands to rest over the center of the chest. And perhaps think of someone or something else that you would like to connect with energetically, physically, emotionally, mentally, as you choose. And perhaps noticing that when you connect with something or someone that you have love for, it creates a sense of joy in your heart. Let that joy come forth onto your face in a smile. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. So I'd just like to say thank you to all of you for joining and for allowing me to connect with you throughout this whole term. I've so enjoyed our time together. I shall miss it, but hopefully I'll get to see some of you around the village over the summer holidays as well. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste. I hope you have a wonderful break.